Bienvenue à ce tuto de prononciation. So today we're going to do j'ai, je. And you might say, oh, come on, Ellie, that's such a basic thing. I know that, but you'd be surprised where it pops up, this sound, and where there might be something to discover where it's actually comes up in other words, and you might be tempted to pronounce those words slightly differently from those two sounds. So even if you feel confident with j'ai, je, take a look at what we're going to have a look at now. So we've got two phonetic symbols here, and you can see very different shapes of mouth. So the first phonetic symbol is this E, and just to see what kinds of words might you find that in. So you're going to find that word with where you've got an E accent, sometimes known as the café. Paul Noble invented that because you see it on the end of the word café. So it's an E, isn't it? E. E-R, E, E-Z, E, clé. This is a one that sometimes people find difficult to pronounce. Two syllables in that word. Pied, pied. Dessin. And then even in simple like j'ai, les, gai, j'aimais, j'aimerais, payer. So you can see it's a really, really common sound. So let's just check the position of the mouth and the tongue then to make that sound. So the tongue is right at the front, mouth is closed, and you can see the lips are pulled. They say pulled, yes. So eh. So you just want to try and make that sound. Eh. Almost like pulling your lips out, if you like. Eh. Now, if you're going a, that means you're making a different sound. So it's really trying to sort of like get your positioning of your mouth as per this picture. Eh. The more you open up your mouth, the less likely you are to hit that sound. Good. Okay. And then the other sound that we're looking at, we'll find in words like le, and je, te, ne. Now, I find that people have quite a lot of difficulty with this sound. And the reason is, well, because I think they want to go to this sound. So le, very different from le. But also, when you see an RE at the beginning of a word, I think the temptation is to imagine that there's always an accent on the E that makes it an E sound, but it's not always there. So look at this one. Reprendre. Appartement. There we go. It's in the middle there, yeah? Reprendre appartement. I think a good word that's not listed here, that's a good one to think of this, is melon in French. We want to say melon, don't we? Because that makes sense to us. But actually, it's an M-E and then an L-O-N. So it's a melon, which is this sound, le. Dessus, everyone's favorite word, I think. Dessus, monsieur. And now these are irregular sounding conjugations here. So, faisons. Even though it's spelled AI, which you would expect to have an A sound, it's actually faisons, faisait. Faisons, faisait. How do we pronounce that? How do we get the mouth in the right position? So your tongue is in the middle of your mouth. Your lips are rounded, and your mouth is quite open. So le, le, je, ne, me. Okay, so actually my mouth is, when looking at myself, it's probably not open enough. So I think these pictures are quite helpful to get the right position, because if you get the right position, you're going to get the right sound. Change the position a bit, you'll get a different sound. All right, let's have a look at some examples of that then. Okay, so we've got this is the difference, isn't it, between the passé composé and the present tense. So it's really important if you're at that stage of learning to know the difference between these two sounds, because if you say j'ai ri, then people think you're talking about something that's happened. Yeah, I laughed. You say je ris, it's happening now. Okay, let's have a listen to this. Let's see if you want to repeat them afterwards. So, oops. Okay, let's go.
Exercice 2. Exemple. Il se réveille. Il s'est réveillé. 1.
Il se prépare.
Pardon. It's not that one. Where is it? Sorry. There's 2 or 3. Sorry about that. Thanks.
Leçon 22. J'ai, je. Exercice 1. 1,
J'ai ri. Je ris.
2,
J'ai dit. Je dis.
3,
J'ai rougi. Je rougis.
4,
J'ai fini. Je finis.
Good. Okay. Let's have a look at this second exercise. So that was the difference between avoir, wasn't it? And using that for the passé composé and the present tense. So j'ai ri, je ris. And here we're going to see the difference between the present and the past as well. So when you're using, these are for reflexive verbs. So this is a really good place for you to practice that le, je sound, because it's there in the reflexive, isn't it? So il se, nice and clipped, short little sound. Really different. Il se réveille. Il s'est réveillé. Il s'est. And then we've got the A in there as well, haven't we, in the noun. So we'll hear it for se réveiller, and then we've got it for se préparer, se dépêcher, se décider, all reflexive verbs. Okay, you want to follow along with it? Okay. Oh.
Leçon 22.
Exercice 2.
Here we go.
Exemple. Il se réveille. Il s'est réveillé.
Okay.
1,
Il se prépare. Il s'est préparé.
Have a go at saying it yourself when you
Deux.
get the gap.
Il se dépêche. Il s'est dépêché.
3,
Il se décide. Il s'est décidé.
All right. Okay. So look, now let's have a look at this one, because this involves a word that a lot of people have difficulty saying as well. So if you feel really confident with the je and the j'ai, when you listen to these phrases, see if you can listen out for how this word is pronounced. Because you know that if you can mean nice ass if you get it wrong. Yeah. So we want to get it right. Yeah. Okay, let's have a listen to number 6.
Exercice 3. Exemple. J'ai beaucoup grossi.
moi aussi je grossis beaucoup.
1. J'ai beaucoup maigri.
Moi aussi je maigris beaucoup.
2. J'ai beaucoup grandi.
Moi aussi je grandis beaucoup.
3. J'ai beaucoup minci.
Moi aussi je mincis beaucoup.
So we've got the j'ai, the je. And then did everybody have a go at saying beaucoup, beaucoup? To practice that. Now this next exercise brings a little bit more in, and I think this is a really good thing to pay attention to, really focus on, because we've got pronouns in here. So that sort of like changes the sounds. So je l'ai, je l'ai. Now you might think, oh, hold on, there's that les if you were hearing it, but it's actually a pronoun in a past participle, in a passé composé sentence here. So je l'ai donné hier. Je l'ai donné hier. I gave it to him or to her yesterday. Moi, je le donne demain. Moi, je le donne demain. Now notice that the je there is sort of like cut because it's going straight into the le. So this is really good for sort of like improving your listening skills. Try said. Actually, I gave it yesterday. Okay, let's hear that number 2007, 27. Okay.
Exercice 4. Exemple.
Je l'ai donné hier.
Moi, je le donne demain. 1,
Je l'ai proposé hier.
moi, je le propose demain. 2,
Je l'ai réclamé hier.
moi, je le réclame demain. 3,
Je l'ai prêté hier.
moi, je le prête demain. 4,
Je l'ai préparé hier.
moi, je le prépare demain.
Good. Okay. So we've had the je l'ai. Now, well, it's also found in other words as well. So I said about melon, didn't I, before? So notice these words. These are all beginning in a way they've got something in them that is like the je, te, le, me sound. So elle tenait, tenait. Now I think that we want to say tenait, don't we? We want to say tenait because we're seeing the number 10 in there, don't we? That's how you'd pronounce it in English. So it's just noticing that we're going to say the first two letters like we do it with the je, the te, the ne, the se. So it's giving that sort of like cutting that word at that point and clipping it. So have a go at saying how you think that would be. So we've got the tenait and then we've got the a in téléphoner. So see if you can have a go at saying that word, how you'd say it, think that said. That phrase, sorry. Okay, and have a go at this one. So now, sometimes people say demander, but there's no accent, is there? So it's demander. And then we've got the accent there, so we can make that an I. We're going to have a go at saying that sentence. Same again with this one. So it's the de here and the de there. So do you want to have a go at saying that sentence? All right, now let's have a listen and see if you can really notice, particularly this bit here, this clipped bit here, which is like the je, the ne, te sound. Okay.
Exercice 5. 1,
Elle tenait à téléphoner.
2,
Elle demandait à décider.
3,
Elle devinait ta détresse.
4,
Elle retardait sa réponse.
5,
Elle prenait des précautions.
6,
Elle remarquait leur réaction.
Very good. Well done. Thank you very much for being here. Thanks very much for taking part. Et très bonne journée à vous. Et puis à la prochaine alors. Merci beaucoup. Je vous embrasse. Au revoir. Au revoir.
À bientôt.